Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm re-uploading this curry and boulders recipe. I had a few technical difficulties with YouTube, so it's the same recipe from the last time. It's just a re-upload. So let me show you guys how easy curry and boulders is to make. We're going to start by placing our split pea flour in a bowl. And we're going to add 3 cups of water. Now this is going to be the curry base. You want to make this really thin because as it cooks it thickens. Now we're going to give this a mix and set it aside. Now if where you live you don't have that split pea powder, you could also soak fresh dal and grind it into a paste and use that. So here we're going to prepare the boulders. So to that dal or split pea flour, I'm adding in water and just giving that a mix. You don't want it to be lumpy. Now I'm adding in salt, some yeast because I like my boulders a little more on the softer side, some baking powder also, green seasoning, and give that a mix. You want to mix this really well until it's incorporated properly, and let's add in some turmeric powder to give it a really nice yellow color. Now you're going to set this aside and let it rest for about 10 minutes. In the meantime, let's put up our pot with some oil. And guys, I no longer have this pot because as you can see it started to discolor at the bottom and I got rid of it. We're going to add in a few methi or fenugreek seeds, and you want to add that in before the oil is very hot. Add in a few curry leaves and allow that to brown, and then go in with some chopped pimentos and chopped onions, and we're going to saute until this is light brown in color. Now go in with some minced garlic. Cook that until the garlic looks light brown in color. And the reason why I'll add garlic after is because if you add garlic first, the onions will not brown and the garlic will burn. So usually you don't use curry powder when you make a curry, but I love to use this 9-spice curry powder along with some turmeric powder to add some extra flavor to the curry. Now you're going to add that in and you're going to toast it on low. Once it starts to feel grainy, we'll add in some water to help it cook. So I would say about 2 to 3 minutes, and then go in with that water and allow it to cook. You'll notice it's a very little bit of curry and a very little bit of turmeric, and it's going to be the perfect amount for this recipe. In goes the green seasoning. I mix that in. Now this is going to continue to cook until it starts to look like this. Once it starts to look like this and the curry starts to thicken and the oils start separating, then you'll know that this step is done. If you look closely, you'll see how the oils are starting to separate. So now what we're going to do is, it's time to add in that dal mixture, the one with the amount of water with 3 cups. That one, the slurry, we're going to add that in now. And we're going to mix. I promise you guys, if you try this recipe just like how I'm making it here, and I'm going in with some additional water. You have to add this additional water because it will thicken really quickly on you, and you don't want that to happen. You want the dal to cook and cook properly. So you see how it's starting to look here? It's starting to thicken. It's looking a little velvety, really smooth. Now I'm going to add my secret ingredient, which is coconut milk powder. It's going to add so much more flavor to the curry. Of course, if you didn't want to add the coconut milk powder, you can omit it, but trust me, it tastes really amazing. So I'm just going to whisk that in because I don't want any lumps. And I choose to add it now when the curry is almost done, so you maintain that coconut flavor in the curry. So this is done. It has a nice consistency. If it's too thick, you'd want to add more water. Now, once it's done, then you add your salt. If you try to add salt while it's cooking, it's going to separate. And you want to finish with some roasted jeera powder. I know some people don't like to use the jeera, so if you don't like it, you can omit it. But it does give it that final taste, like when you go to prayers or a wedding. That's that flavor you get from it. So set that aside and let's fry the boulders or the pylori. You're going to make these really small. So if you like it big, of course, by all means, feel free to make them bigger. They're going to fry up pretty quickly. And you're going to fry them until they're golden brown. Once they're done, remove them from the oil, drain properly, and then you can add them to that curry that we made. Drop them in that beautiful dal jacuzzi. Mix them, and if you wanted to add more boulders, of course you can. And if you wanted to drop in a habanero pepper or scotch bonnet pepper in here, feel free to at this time. And that's it. Your curry is now ready to be enjoyed. I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. It is a repeat, as I said. Thank you all so much for asking me to re-upload it. I was planning to in time for Diwali. So enjoy. Let me know what you think if you try it. And remember to check out my Diwali playlist where you can find a lot more recipes. Bye everyone.